President Trump holding a record-breaking rally last night at Madison Square Garden in New York City, appealing to deep blue New York City voters in one of the final campaign events before the November election. Watch.
Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job. We're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. We're bringing back the American dream, and we're going to bring it back at the highest level that you've ever seen.
Joining me now is former House Speaker, Fox News contributor, the author of March to the Majority, Newt Gingrich, back with us. Newt, great to see you. You were at the rally at MSG last night. How was it? What were your takeaways?
Well, I think Clifton and I both, first of all, just thought it was amazing to be at Madison Square Garden to see the sheer energy level, which is something several of the speakers commented on. This was a crowd that was on fire. They were excited, and the president lived up to that. His speech was, I think, very powerful, very direct. Melania was wonderful introducing him and being part of it. So were Eric and Ron and Don Jr. So you really had this whole effect, and Laura Trump. But you also had, in a sense, a new Republican Party. I mean, you had, people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Giving a talk at a rally for a Republican nominee. You had Tulsi Gabbard, who's now switched parties and become a Republican. And it was just really interesting. And you had people, as different as Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a very successful entrepreneur. And, of course, you had Elon Musk, who's the wealthiest, most successful man in the world, and who also has made amazing achievements with his new Starship, which will ultimately, I think, go to Mars probably before the end of the decade. And so all of this talent coming together, and I would say, frankly, I'm happy to swap Robert F. Kennedy for Liz Cheney. I thought that sort of captured where this race is at, and I think that the fact is that Trump's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, so you think Trump could take New York? Newt, can he win New York?
Well, I think it's a long shot. I mean, it depends on how tired New Yorkers are of crime and costs and taxes and corruption. He certainly is going to do better in New York than he did in his first two campaigns, and I think he has an outside chance. I don't think it's if he carries New York, this will be a landslide of a Reagan scale. But he certainly has momentum. What he is doing is he's helping reelect Republican congressmen in New York, and that's vital if Speaker Johnson's going to have a big enough majority to enact a Trump agenda.
So you've got a new ABC News Ipsos poll putting Harris ahead of Trump nationally at 51% versus 47%. But that same poll shows Trump leading Harris on key issues. He's up 8 points on the economy. He's up 7 points on inflation and the conflict in the Middle East. He's up 12 points on immigration, Newt. But what's with these polls? I mean, they're so close when you look at these national polls, and it's much different than the predictive election markets. When you get to something like a poly market, which actually, people put their money on and they're betting on, you've got a much wider gap. You've got Trump right now at 66.6% versus Kamala at 33.4%. Do you believe the other polls that have them so close nationally?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. First of all, there are different polls. Trafalgar, for example, which was remarkably accurate in 2020, shows Trump doing very, very well. The Democracy Institute poll, which is a joint British-American venture, shows Trump doing very well. So you can take your polls. I would say two things about what I watch right now. One is, by the way, the gambling market, which is not sort of my normal take. Then recent betting, it's 95% Trump.
Wow.
I mean, she's still at 30-something% because it's a lagging indicator. But in recent betting, they just said this is, she's going to lose. The other thing is, look at the state turnouts. I've been stunned. In state after state, either the Republicans are ahead, which they are in most of the states, or the margin of early voting has narrowed dramatically. It's 950,000 votes closer in Pennsylvania than it was at this stage in 2020. 950,000 votes. And the reason is pretty simple. Everywhere you look, and I talked to Chairman Whatley about this of the Republican National Committee last night, he said everywhere they look, Democrats are not turning out, and they're not turning out because, frankly, Kamala Harris is not believable, and she doesn't make any sense. And you can only say I was raised as a middle-class child so often before people think it's a joke.
Right.
So if you look at the actual, remember, it's one thing to get a phone call and say, how will you vote? It's nothing to go vote. And in places where people have gone to vote, and Chris and I voted with Senator Rick Scott and his wife Ann on the very first hour that Florida was open. Huge crowd, very big Republican turnout, and in the Democratic precincts, very small turnout.
Newt, I have two questions for you. First off, some states are saying it'll take longer to count votes on election night. We're wondering if we're going to actually see a repeat of 2020, where we didn't know the results for a week. I spoke with former Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler and RNC Chairman Michael Whatley on Sunday Morning Futures yesterday. Here's what they said. Watch this. When do you believe we will know the winner of this election? I mean, Kelly, you've got some states like Arizona saying, oh, we're not going to know for 13 days. What about Georgia?
Georgia, I believe we're going to know the night of. I mean, we have a law that requires the early votes, absentee ballots, to be counted the day of by 8 p.m. And I'm confident that our turnout levels are going to dictate that we will know. Hopefully, if everyone gets out to vote, President Trump will win on November 5th.
We're going to win on November 5th, and we're going to know it before we go to bed, Maria.
What do you think, Newt? You think we'll know the winner on November 5th?
I mean, first of all, we probably ought to have a federal law that requires that states return that night. You know, the French vote in one day, and everybody knows by the end of the evening. I mean, it is nonsense to have states this incompetent. Although, remember, I saw the movie Recount recently, which was about the Bush-Gore. It took 46 days to solve Florida in 2000. But shouldn't. You should know that night. My hunch is that Trump's margin is going to be so big that you're going to know it that evening. I think he has a positive message. You can like him or dislike him, but he has a specific message. He talks about the economy. He talks about immigration. He talks about things people care about. And you compare that with what she's doing. And I think, and watch tomorrow. I'm going to watch very carefully what she says on the ellipse, because if she comes in and gives some kind of a stupid Hitler, fascist, and negative speech, doesn't buy any groceries, doesn't fill any gas tanks, doesn't help young people buy any houses, that she is on a track right now of self-destruction. Yeah.
Real quick on this, Newt, I got to get your take on process, because the rules are that the vice president is supposed to certify the election, right? So, I mean, how is this going to happen if the vice president is the candidate? If Kamala Harris opposes this election, let's say Trump wins and Kamala tries to oppose it and challenge it, is she still going to, you know, is she still going to be the one to certify the election?
Yeah, yes. And to Mike Pence's credit, he did the job of the vice president. And in the year 2000, after that very long, bitter recount, it's Al Gore who is the vice president, who is certifying George W. Bush. This is America. In America, when the game is over, you're supposed to shake hands and work together.
Okay.
And we ought to have that attitude this fall. I personally, whoever wins, as an American, I will try to help them be an effective American president.
All right. Well, she's supposed to certify the election, so we'll see, and we'll watch that. Newt, great to see you. Thanks so much.